A lot of people believe that younger women naturally prefer older men, and in many cases, that belief is not wrong. Experience, emotional control, life wisdom, and stability are often qualities that younger men have not yet had time to fully develop. These traits give older men a real advantage, especially when it comes to emotional depth, perspective, and grounded decision-making. However, here is the uncomfortable truth that most people avoid talking about. Most older men do not lose attraction because of their age itself. They lose attraction because of how they carry that age. I have seen men in their 40s, 50s, and beyond make the same mistakes again and again. And every time they repeat these patterns, they do not just lose interest from others, they lose respect. And once respect is gone, attraction never even gets a chance to grow. That is the real tragedy. Because older men already have everything they need within them. They simply misuse it or fail to embody it correctly. You do not need to change who you are. You do not need to act younger, richer, trendier, or louder. You simply need to stop repeating certain habits that quietly kill attraction without you realizing it. In this video, we will break down 7 common habits older men unknowingly fall into. These habits silently destroy attraction and erode respect before it ever has a chance to grow into something meaningful. This is not about pretending to be younger. It is not about money, status, manipulation, or surface-level tricks. It is about presence, mindset, self-respect, and how you carry yourself in everyday moments. If you want to understand female psychology from a calm, grounded, and stoic perspective, and if you want to avoid mistakes that push people away without you realizing it, then this video is for you. Welcome to Dr. Sophia. Let us begin. The first habit is putting her on a pedestal. You meet a younger woman. She carries herself with confidence. She's attractive, calm, and comfortable in her own skin. And without realizing it, something changes inside you. Your mind starts racing. You begin thinking that you cannot mess this up and that she is probably out of your league. So instead of being present and authentic, you start performing. Soften your opinions. Do you agree when you do not truly mean it? You measure every word you say, afraid of saying the wrong thing. Slowly, your real personality fades into the background. Here is the hard truth most men do not want to hear. People are not drawn to those who admire them from below. They are drawn to those who meet them eye to eye. The moment you put her on a pedestal, you step off your own. You send a silent message that says you matter more than I do. And no matter how subtle that message is, it feels heavy, feels like pressure. And pressure kills attraction every time. Insecurity does not need to be loud to be felt. It leaks through your tone, your posture, your hesitation, and your need for approval. The shift happens when you normalize her. She is not an image, not a prize, and not a judgment of your worth. She is a human being with flaws, doubts, fears, and ordinary moments just like you. Speak without attaching your value to the outcome. Stop trying to earn approval. Start showing up as an equal. Real confidence is not dominance, is not arrogance, and it is definitely not worship. Confidence is calm presence. It is knowing you belong in the room without asking permission. That is when attraction finally has space to grow naturally. The second habit is being insecure about your age. Someone asks you how old you are. Sounds like a harmless and casual question, but for many men, it hits like a sudden spotlight. You feel it instantly. Your shoulders tense. Your voice drops slightly. Your confidence wavers for just a second. And that second communicates everything. Not because of the number you say, but because of how you say it. The moment you hesitate, you frame your age as a problem. And when you treat something as a weakness, others instinctively do the same. Here is the truth most men miss. Age itself does not reduce attraction. Uncertainty does. Your years represent experience, emotional control, resilience, and lessons, paid for with time. But none of that matters if you act ashamed of it. You do not need to justify your age. You do not need to explain your past, okay? And you certainly do not need to apologize for existing. Say your age simply, say it calmly. Say it the same way you would state your name. No jokes to hide discomfort. No defensive tone. No need to soften the truth. Confidence is not pretending age does not matter. It is showing that you are at peace with it. When you are grounded, age becomes context, not limitation. When you hesitate, it becomes a liability you created yourself. People take their cues from you. When you stand comfortably in your reality, they relax into it as well. Own your age. It quietly works in your favor when you stop fighting it. The third habit is leading with money or status. Some older men build their entire identity around success. Years of work, long nights, and sacrifices that finally paid off. When they meet someone new, they believe this is their strongest card. They lead with titles, careers, milestones, trips, and achievements. Not always to impress consciously, but to prove they matter. The problem is that success does not create attraction. It creates a transaction. The moment you introduce yourself as a provider first, you turn yourself into a resource rather than a human being. And resources can always be replaced. Real interest does not grow from numbers, assets, or possessions. It grows from how you show up in the moment. Your calm presence, emotional control, values, and consistency are things money cannot fake. This does not mean success is unimportant. It means it should not speak before you do. When you feel the need to highlight achievements early, it often signals uncertainty, as if your value needs proof. A grounded man does not advertise his worth. He allows it to be felt. When success appears quietly over time, it adds depth. When it leads the conversation, it replaces substance. The fourth habit is acting like a mentor instead of a man. Many older men fall into this pattern without realizing it. Starts with good intentions. They want to help, guide, and share lessons. So they teach, advise, and explain. Over time, conversation turns into a lesson. Without noticing, they position themselves above the other person, not as an equal, but as an instructor. Wisdom becomes a shield. It feels safer to talk at someone than to be emotionally present with them. It avoids tension and vulnerability, but the cost is connection. You may sound impressive and intelligent, yet something feels flat. Information does not create attraction. Energy does. Connection is built through shared moments, lightness, emotional exchange, and presence. Wisdom is powerful when it is invited. Attraction grows when it is paired with warmth, humor, and curiosity. The goal is not to teach someone how to live. The goal is to create a space where connection can breathe naturally. The fifth habit is trying too hard to look young. Some men believe looking younger is the solution. They copy slang clothing and behaviors that do not fit them. It shows authenticity cannot be imitated. Trying to appear younger communicates discomfort with who you are. There is a difference between refinement and disguise. Dress sharp, not trendy. Choose clothes that respect your frame. Speak naturally. Move with intention. Your experience is visible in how you listen and respond. Stop competing with youth and start embodying maturity. That grounded presence is far more attractive than any trend. The sixth habit is turning conversations into a resume. Some men unknowingly turn interaction into presentation. They talk about achievements to explain their worth. Traction does not grow on paper, it grows in presence. A conversation is an exchange of energy, listening deeply, allowing silence. And making someone feel seen communicates value without explanation. The seventh habit is neglecting your physical presence. Experience means nothing if your presence does not reflect discipline. Grooming, posture, fitness, and self-care communicate self-respect. You do not need perfection. You need intention. A man who respects himself attracts respect without demanding it. At the core of all these habits is one simple truth. Traction is not about trying harder. It is about owning who you are without apology. When you stop proving, performing, and hiding, respect comes first and attraction follows naturally. If this message resonated with you, reflect not on what to fix, but on what to stop doing. If you value calm confidence, emotional control, and stoic clarity, support the channel by liking the video, subscribing to Dr. Sophia, and commenting which habits stood out to you most. Stay calm, stay grounded, stay silent. See you in the next video.